I woke up to the sound of rain and the faint hum of the city. For a moment, I didn't remember where I was. Then I saw his coat hanging on the chair, the smell of tea still in the air. Lucas had already left. A note on the table. Breakfast is in the kitchen. Stay inside until I call. His handwriting was precise, controlled, just like him. I walked through the apartment, every corner too clean, too quiet, like a place that belonged to someone who never slept. By the window, I could see the lake, gray, endless, still. I wondered how long I could stay invisible before the world found me again. That day passed slowly. The rain didn't stop. I made tea, read the same sentence 10 times, and tried not to think about Bruckner. When the door finally opened, it was already dark. Lucas stepped in quietly, his coat wet, his eyes tired. "You didn't leave," he said softly. "You told me not to." He nodded once, then sat down, loosening his tie like someone who'd forgotten how to breathe. "There are things you shouldn't know," he said, "and people you shouldn't trust." "I already learned that," I whispered. He looked at me, that same calm face, but behind it, something heavier. Then he handed me an envelope. "Inside, there's a key. You'll need a new place, safer than this one." I froze. "Are you sending me away?" He hesitated. "No, I'm trying to keep you alive." The silence between us stretched like a wire, and I realized safety always comes with distance. He drove me to an apartment on the edge of the city, a quiet street, old buildings, flickering lights, the kind of place people pass by without seeing. When we got there, he stopped the car, but didn't move. "There's food inside," he said, "and a phone that can't be traced. If anyone asks, you're Anna Fisher." I wanted to ask who she was, but something in his face told me not to. The apartment smelled of dust and new paint. One window, one bed, one life, mine, again. He stood by the door, watching me put my coat away. "Lock the door from inside," he said quietly, "and don't open it for anyone, even me, unless I call first." I nodded. He turned to leave, but before he did, I asked, "Lucas, what are you really hiding from?" He stopped, didn't turn around. "Some ghosts wear suits," he said, then walked away. The next days blurred together. Rain, silence, the hum of trams outside. Sometimes I thought I saw the same man across the street. Same coat, same stance, always watching. Maybe it was nothing. Maybe it was a warning. At night, I'd lie awake and think about my sister, where she might be, if she was safe, if she still remembered my voice. One evening, the phone rang, once, then silence. No number, no voice. just breathing. I whispered, "Lucas?" No answer, just that faint human sound on the other end, then a click. After that, the city didn't feel quiet anymore. It felt aware. The next morning, someone slid a letter under my door. No name, no address, only one sentence. "He can't protect you anymore." I stared at it for a long time, then folded it slowly and burned it over the stove. Sometimes survival isn't about running. It's about pretending you're not afraid. That night, I looked out the window. The city lights blurred through the rain, the lake hidden behind fog, and I whispered, "This isn't safety. It's waiting." For what? I didn't know, but I could feel it. The moment before everything changes again. I didn't sleep that night. The walls felt thinner, as if the city outside could hear me breathing. Every drop of rain sounded like a question I didn't want to answer. The next morning, I decided to step outside, just for a moment. The air was cold, heavy, and the streets looked different when you walked alone. Zurich had this way of hiding its secrets in reflections. Shop windows, puddles, bus stops. You could look at the city and never really see it. At the corner cafe, I sat with a small cup of coffee and tried to feel normal. Tried to pretend I was just another woman waiting for someone. Then I saw him, a man in a black coat, sitting 2 tables away. He wasn't looking at me, not directly, but every time I glanced up, his reflection was turned my way. When I stood up to leave, he folded his newspaper and followed me out. My heart started that quiet panic, the kind that hides behind your breathing. Just a moment, the pain of confusion. I turned into a narrow street. The rain made everything blur. Footsteps behind me. Slow, measured, close. I reached the tram stop just as the doors closed in front of me. For a moment, I thought he'd step closer, but he just stopped, watching. And then he smiled. That kind of smile, the one that doesn't reach the eyes. I went back to the apartment, hands shaking so hard I could barely hold the key. The phone rang again that night. Once, then silence. No number, just breathing. Then a voice, low, distorted. "You shouldn't have left." I froze. "Who is this?" But there was no reply. Only the click of the line ending. When Lucas called later, I didn't tell him. He sounded different, quieter, distracted. "I'll be gone for a few days," he said. "Don't open the door for anyone. Understand?" I wanted to ask where he was going, but I didn't. He wouldn't tell me anyway. After that, the days turned into a slow loop. Tea, rain, silence, fear. On the 4th night, someone knocked on the door. 3 times, steady, calm. I stood still, holding my breath. Then, "Oksana, it's me." Lucas, his voice unmistakable. I hesitated, then remembered his words. Don't open it unless I call first. He hadn't called. Say something only you'd know, I whispered through the door. Pause. Then, softly, the photo on your phone, the one with your sister in the yellow dress. I unlocked the door, but it wasn't Lucas. Not really. Same coat, same voice, different eyes. And before I could react, a hand over my mouth, the smell of metal, a flash of cold light, and then nothing. When I woke up, the room was unfamiliar. Concrete walls, a single chair, a sound, a generator humming somewhere far away. My wrists hurt. My head spun. And there he was, the man from the cafe. He smiled. I'm sorry, he said softly. It wasn't supposed to be like this. Where's Lucas? I asked. He's busy. He paused. Do you know what he really does? I didn't answer. You think he works at a bank? He laughed quietly. No, Oksana. Lucas Reinhardt is the reason you're still alive, and the reason others aren't. I tried to pull away, but the chair was bolted to the floor. He stepped closer, his voice calm, almost kind. There's something he didn't tell you. Something about Bruckner, about your sister. My blood turned cold. What about her? He watched me for a moment, then whispered, she was never missing. She was found by him. The air disappeared from my lungs. No, he smiled again. He saved you both, but only one of you remembers it. The next thing I remember is darkness, then light. Lucas's voice. Oksana, wake up. I was back in the apartment. Same bed, same window. Rain outside, as if nothing had changed. He sat beside me, his hand trembling slightly. You shouldn't have opened the door. I thought it was you. I know, he said quietly, and that's why they used my voice. I looked at him. What did he mean about my sister? He didn't speak, just looked out the window. The silence said enough. Later that night, I found the envelope he'd left weeks ago, the one with the key. Inside it, another note I hadn't seen. If you ever doubt me, trust what you feel, not what you hear. I read it again and again, until the words didn't make sense anymore. Trust what you feel, not what you hear. And somewhere between those lines, I realized I was falling in love with the only man who could destroy me. Days passed. He came and went like a shadow. Sometimes I'd wake up and hear him on the phone, speaking in a language I didn't recognize. One night, I stepped into the hallway and saw his door slightly open. Inside, a wall covered in photographs, names, faces, and mine. He turned, startled. Oksana, you shouldn't be here. Why is my face on your wall? He sighed. Because before I met you, I was supposed to find you. My heart stopped. Find me? He nodded. You weren't random. You were assigned. The room went quiet. I felt something heavy settle inside my chest. A kind of truth that doesn't break. It just stays. He walked closer, slowly. I didn't expect you to matter this much, he said. And now, I don't know how to keep you safe. I whispered, then don't. Just don't lie. He looked at me for a long moment, and for the first time, he didn't. He reached out, his hand tracing mine, just once, like a memory you're afraid to lose. Outside, the rain softened, the city quieted, and for a few seconds, everything felt still. Too still. Then, a sound from the hallway. Footsteps. More than one. Lucas turned off the light. Get your things, he whispered. They found us again. My heart raced. Where do we go? He looked at me, calm, steady. Anywhere but here. We left through the back stairs into the wet streets of Zurich. Lights flickered on tram tracks. Every sound felt like a warning. As we reached the river, he stopped and looked back. This is where it started, he said, and maybe where it ends. I didn't understand, but I followed, because sometimes you don't need to know where you're going. You just need someone who doesn't let go. We disappeared into the fog. 2 shadows, 1 secret, and the rain still whispering our names. The road was silent, except for the rain sliding across the windshield. Lucas didn't speak. Neither did I. Sometimes words only make things heavier. We left Zurich behind, the lights fading into a blur of gold and gray. The highway curved along the lake, and every reflection looked like a memory that didn't belong to me. After an hour, he pulled off the road. A small village, empty streets, wooden roofs, the smell of wet pine. He stopped the car near an old guest house. We'll stay here tonight, he said. His voice was low, careful, like someone afraid to wake ghosts. Inside, the room was small. 1 lamp, 2 mugs. He gave me the bed and took the chair near the window. For a while, I listened to the rain tapping the glass. It felt almost kind, the only thing that still made sense. Do you ever sleep? I asked. He smiled faintly. Not when it rains. Because of her? He didn't answer, and I didn't need him to. Later, when the storm quieted, he stood up, stretched his hands, and said softly, "You know, I used to come here as a boy. My father called this place a safe corner of the world." Is it still safe? He looked out into the dark. No corner stays safe forever. I lay awake long after he stopped talking. Somewhere between the hum of the lamp and the breathing of the rain, I realized how silence can be louder than fear, and how being near someone doesn't always mean you understand them. Morning came with pale light and the smell of coffee. Lucas had shaved. The tiredness on his face had turned into resolve. "We can't stay," he said. "They'll start looking here next." "Who?" He hesitated. "The same men who followed you, but they're not after you anymore. They want what you know." "What I know?" I laughed quietly. "I don't even know what's happening." "That's the problem," he said. "You were never supposed to." We drove again south there. South this time. past vineyards, old bridges, tunnels that smelled of stone and dust. Each kilometer felt like shedding another layer of our past. When we finally stopped, it was near a lake so still it looked unreal. A cabin stood there, forgotten, wooden, patient. He handed me another key. "Stay here for a while. Don't call me. Don't go into town." "Lucas," he touched my hand, just once. "If I don't come back, you'll know where to go." "Where?" "To the one place that still remembers your sister." Then he walked away, into the fog, and disappeared. The days after that melted together. I counted the rain by rhythm instead of time. Sometimes I'd hear footsteps outside. Maybe deer, maybe not. And sometimes I'd talk to the empty room, just to hear a voice. One evening while I was making tea, I found an envelope under the door. No handwriting, just a seal, the same symbol that was on Lucas's watch. Inside, a photograph. My sister, standing beside Lucas, smiling. On the back, a note. He kept his promise. Stared at it for hours. Every heartbeat felt like a question I couldn't ask. Had he known her before me? Had she known him? And why did the smile in the picture look like goodbye? That night I dreamt of her, a train station, fog, her voice calling my name. I tried to reach her, but the doors closed, and I woke up with her echo still in my chest. When dawn came, the fog lifted over the lake. A single boat drifted near the shore. Inside it, a small package wrapped in plastic. I pulled it out, shivering. Inside, another phone, and one message waiting. "Don't go back. They found Zurich." I sat there, watching the message fade into the screen. Somewhere far away, thunder rolled again. The days grew longer, emptier. But one evening, the phone lit up again. Unknown number. "Oksana," a voice said, soft, familiar. "Lucas?" "No, he wanted me to call you." "Who are you?" "A friend. He's safe." "He's safe, for now." "For now?" There was a pause. "He said to tell you, the truth you're looking for isn't in the city. It's where the war ended." Then the line went dead. I sat there, the lake stretching in front of me, like an unfinished sentence. Maybe this was what survival looked like. Half peace, half waiting. The air outside smelled like rain again. And I whispered, maybe safety isn't a place. Maybe it's a person. That night, I lit a candle by the window. Just one small light in all that darkness. Somewhere out there, I hoped he could see it. Or maybe he already knew. And that's all for tonight. Let your thoughts drift like the lake. Let the rain soften whatever still hurts. Oksana will return soon. Until then, breathe, rest, and sleep well.